Okay, hey, for simplifying fractions, oh man, it is really important to use a factoring technique. Elementary teachers, I think across the US, typically do something like this. They show kids, hey, we can divide both of those by 2. The problem is later on when you have x squared um, minus 6x plus 8, you can't just do a divide something like that. It's really bad habits to get into. So the best way to do this is to break 2 down into its factors. 2 is the same as 2 times 1. 4 is the same as 2 times 2. And then 2 divide 2 is 1. And 1 times 1 half is 1 half. And then teach kids to check that. You could check it by doing multiply 4 times 1, 2 times 2, they both equal 4, then you know you have equivalent fractions. So you could do another one. 3 times 1 over 3 times 3. 3 divide 3 is 1, so that leaves 1/3. And then have them rewrite it. 3/9 is equivalent to 1/3. And have them, it's important to not only have them see it, but to say it. So now when we get to bigger numbers, so let's say it's 24 over 36. And some kids are going to notice, hey, 12 goes into both of those. But let's say we have kids that don't know that. Well, figure out what kids might notice. Some kids might notice, oh, 6 goes into 24. So you could just have them start with 6. 6 divided 6 is 1. But now what they have is 4 over 6. These both have a 2 in common. So 4 is 2 times 2. 6 is 2 times 3. So 24 over 36 is equivalent to 2/3. Or you could say 24 is 2/3 of, that would be another way to teach that. 24 is 2/3 of, look at, remember what I said about teaching English? Is means equal, of means multiply. This is just kind of for your background, different ways to explain it. And then look, 36 divided 3 is 12. 2 times 12, you've got 24 equal to 24. So there's a couple of different ways. So now let's go to the other one. I think that I'm going to pause this for a second. Okay, so now you gave me the example 504 over 900. And it might be that if this is for the 6th grade students, it might be for the kids that you're differentiating. If it's just the introductory, the kids that are new to this, you might not have them try that. But just for a challenge problem, or one where you say, well, what would we do if we have a really big number? Well, what you could still have them focus on is they both end in an even number. So you could have them think about, if you don't want to do long division each time, you could have them think about visually. If you've got 500 and you have 4, well, what's 1/2 of 4? That would be 2. Well, what's 1/2 of 500? Well, there's 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. You could just say these markings represent 100, then 200, 300, 400, 500. So then you're going to count backwards. There's 1, there's 2. Count backward from here. 1, 2. Well, then halfway in the middle, so 1, 2 and a half. So that's 1, 200, and then this would be 50. This would be 50. So we know that half of 500 is 250. Half of 4 is 2. So we could write 252. That would be one way to do it. If you give them a calculator, just have them divide by a calculator or have them do long division. And then 900, you could do that technique. I've never even done this before, but you could do that again. Each thing represents 100. And then just kind of count backwards or forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Count here 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that so far this part is 400, this part is 400, and in the middle right there, that's the halfway point. So half of 900 is 450. Now, and then you can keep going. These have a 2 in common again. You could do long division. You could do the calculator method. But again, if this is for the 6th grade class, I would give this to students who really have their math facts down, who are going to be quick at long division. And I would stick 6th graders. I probably wouldn't go higher than maybe 144, because even by 6th grade, you know that that's 12 times 12. And once they have, so let's say you said 96 over 144. Well, some students might notice, well, I know 144 is 12 times 12. Have them look at a multiplication chart. Well, 96 is 12 times 8. And now some student might yell out, oh, well, those both have a 4 in common. 8 is 4 times 2. 12 is 4 times 3. So now what we have is 96 over 144 is 2/3. And using prime factorization back up to this one, there are other ways to find the least common denominator, the greatest common multiple, using prime factorization methods. But I think if you're strictly talking about simplifying fractions, I would leave a number like this unless you're using the calculator. If you're using the calculator, have them divide by 2 each time. So if you're going to let them use a calculator for a hard one, to give them some calculator skills, since they both end in an even number, then this would be 2 times 252. This would be 2. 900 divide 2 is 450. 2 divide 2 is 1. Well, these both end in an even number. So you would start the process again. Divide 2, that would be 2 times 126. This would be 2 times 225. Now this one's interesting. This is when you can use divisibility rules. So notice 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 6 is 9. 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 5. So right away, we know both of those have a factor of 9. And just use a calculator. 126 divided by 9 looks like it could be 14. And then 225 divide 9 looks like that is going to be 25. The 9's cancel. So what you have left, let me do this, create some space. What you end up with is 504 900ths is equivalent to 14 25ths. And then to get kids in the habit of checking, multiply, they can use a calculator, 25 times 504, and then 14 times 900. And both of those answers should be the same. That's how you know that this number is proportional to this number. It's the simplified version. Anyway, I hope that helps.